Hey everybody, it's Jeff Schmidt from Alien Imaging, and I wanted to take you through a quick walkthrough of the effects library AI-FX 2. So you get it, you download it, you get this package. This is the main package of the library, AI-FX 2. You can see it's 900 megabytes, just almost a terabyte of data. Nice chunky package for your radio imaging needs. And it's broken into these 5 categories: AI-FX, effects with tails, loops, textures and drones, and the whoops with mix-outs. There's a user guide and the end user license, of course. So let's just dig in and I'll show you what's available here real quick. So the main categories are the effects and the effects with tails. We'll hit those first. Effects, pretty much I'm sure you know. There's 116 of these, and as I did in AI-FX 1, this library here, I started on things that are just numbered like this. I started putting the longer sound effects to the shortest sound effect. So the longer effects are up here, and I find this useful in my own production when sometimes I just need something of this category, but I want to play something like really short. I'll go down towards the bottom of the list, right? Play something where I need something longer, I can come up here. And sometimes the longer ones aren't really necessarily the effect is longer, there's just more of a ring out on it, right? And then in the middle of the category, it's kind of, right? Okay, there's 116 of those. The next category is effects with loops, or effects with tails, my bad. These are broken into 2 categories, named and numbered. So there's 100 numbered and there's like 97 names. So there's 197 of these, right? So the distinction I wanted to make here was that the named or the numbered tails are neutral. So these tails could work over music segues on the radio station itself. You could use this as to kind of start your intro, do your dry voiceover here and actually start firing your segue from here out, right? And you could start music under here and it works. It's a neutral sound, so it works with all kinds of music, rock, pop, country, etc. Right? So it's kind of more of a neutral sound. Obviously, you can use these to start promos. They work great within promos. I used them on the demo extensively, and I'll show you that in a second. All right. So these are highly usable. And then the distinction, obviously, between those being neutral and the named effects is the named are actually, they're more tonal. For example, like this one. This one actually has rhythm to it. Right, but you wouldn't necessarily use this the same way you would use these other ones, right? They're tonal. So again, I wanted to distinguish between the 2 types because you would use them completely differently in production, right? Okay, so that's pretty much the main backbone, I would call the backbone of the library, these effects. I say that because these effects literally can work on any contemporary radio format. I'm using them on sports, classic rock, pop, hot AC, country, news talk guys are using these. So like these kinds of sounds, and they sound really great on the radio too without really being like loud and obnoxious. They just kind of cut through in a really subtle way. So now we get into some of the areas. Let's just go to drones and textures first. This is like one of those categories that people like. It's not a very sexy category, but it's really useful. Just like when you need, like I just need a stage setter, or I need to, like I'm going to put some in between the chaos, I just want to have a little noise underneath. So some of these are like really great for that. Let's go to loops. And I broke this similarly to the effects with tails. I broke this into 2 categories, named and numbered. So the numbered loops, there's 39 of those, and the named loops, there's like 28 of these, are distinct in the very simple way, like the loops numbered are just loops, right? Oops, let's turn this up a little bit. And they're literally just drum loops, right? Great for providing some rhythmic momentum between sweepers and things like that. The named elements are much more musical, right? Bass lines, chord changes, that kind of stuff. Right? There's changes, that kind of stuff. So these are music, these are loops, and that's the distinction between those 2. And then finally, last but not least in the package, we got the wubs. So the wubs I started back in AI Effects 1, and it was like one of those categories that was like, I was surprised at the response to it. People were like, these things are cool, like do more. So more wubs, but this time, instead of just giving you just a straight up wub, I decided to dress it up a little bit, add some effects, and then do a whole mix out on it so you guys get everything, right? So let's just show you one of these. Right, so that's kind of the wub effect, just crazy bass music. And as crazy as I think these things are sometimes, I'm surprised at how well they work on multi-formats. I literally, like, I got a news talk guy sent me stuff he was doing with them, and he's putting them under, like, you know, Glenn Beck drops. It's like, okay, man, that's cool. Like, I never thought of that before. So so you get every single one of these 17 files kind of comes up like this, where you've got the composite, and then there's this little separator tone, and then the effects. So these are just the effects that are used in here. And again, these are highly usable in and of themselves. Like, you might hate the wub, for example, which is this last piece. It's just, right, it's just a clean wub. But like, and I've done this before too. Like, I'll have I'm working on a classic rock station or something, and like, I have no use for the wubs on that. But these things are highly useful. These things are great. They work over all kinds of music, and they're kind of like a similar idea to the effects with Tails. They're just a little more shell-like. So there's 17 of these, and they all kind of have a similar profile. Mixed version, effect version, clean version, right? Highly usable stuff. There's also a little user guide, which basically, you guys are all experts, you know this stuff, but it just kind of points out some of the stuff I've already just said. So if you've watched this video, you probably don't need to read that. And then the end user license agreement. In this version of AI Effects 2, I'm including this bonus, which is not necessary, obviously. All of these files are delivered as WAV files, right? They're all waves, so you can just drag them into any workstation you want. But if you happen to be a Pro Tools user, as I am, I've included this package here as a bonus. And it's basically the demo. If you've heard the demo on SoundCloud or on my website or wherever, YouTube, Vimeo, wherever the demo is posted, what I decided to do was give you the Pro Tools session for it, with some changes, obviously, because I don't have rights to everything to give you. So I basically broke it into a Pro Tools 10 to a 12 session, which is what it was created on. And then I saved as a version of 7 to 9. I'm not sure how great this is going to work, because you're going to have to import files. But let me just open up this is the file you'll get. So I had to strip out all the vocal elements because I don't have rights to share those. And I stripped out all the plugins. And I know that's kind of disappointing, or probably disappointing, because everybody wants to know what's on your master fader. But I wanted to maintain like maximum flexibility and capability with everybody's system. So just by stripping out all the plugins, and I'll do another video where I walk through the whole demo. Really what it was there was a lot of plugins on the voices, obviously. And then I did have a mastering kind of chain on my master effects. You guys all have your own mastering chains. And I mean, the only plugins I used here was sometimes I'd send stuff to reverbs and things like that. So you basically get, this is how the demo worked without the voiceover, right? So you get to see how it was created, and you actually get to open it up on your own system, and you kind of get to see how I decided to use this stuff, how I've used the effects. Obviously not every single effect in the library is used in the demo, but a great many are. And this gives you a shot anyway of seeing what went into making the demo, and it also gives you some ideas about how to use the library, as an added bonus. So that's included there for free. Again, you don't need to use Pro Tools to use the library. This is just an added bonus. And if anybody wants to take that and port it over to Adobe Audition, because I know you guys are, a lot of you guys are on Audition or other things. If any of you guys are want to take the time to do that, let me know, and I'll share that also if it's a solid comp over to Adobe Audition. Anyway, if you have any questions about AI effects or any of the Alien libraries, give me an email at jeff@alien-imaging.com. You can pick up or check out the demos at any of these libraries at alien-imaging.com. And that's it for now. Thanks for watching.